for joining me this evening.
Thank you, Athens. Thank you for recognizing the Tea Party and giving us a little attention. Thank you very
sure.
much.
Yeah. Now, are you one of the 4 or 5 leaders? I don't know how many leaders there are currently. Or are you a member? What is your function with the Tea Party?
Well, the Tea Party is a movement of the citizens, and we're all leaders and we're all workers. So, but yes, I've been involved for quite a while. So, for a couple of years, the Tea Party, I believe, started in 2009. So it's not very old, and our group in Modesto has been active for almost 2 years. I need Jan Etheridge here to give me all the right answers.
I keep hearing
she
that
does
name.
All the work, yes.
I
She's
keep
the
hearing the
contact
name.
person.
Yeah, it's like, call Jan, talk to
Yes.
Jan.
Jan's our contact.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a very sweet lady. I've had the opportunity to talk with her a few times. So I can't quite twist her arm to come on the show, but maybe one of these days.
She twisted my arm.
Yeah.
Right here.
So that's why you're here.
We all do what Jan.
Yeah. Now, you have a twice a month meeting, I believe, on Thursday nights where you bring guests in and they do a presentation to your group. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The Modesto Tea Party Patriots meets twice a month, the first and third Thursday of each month, at the Holiday Inn Express on Sisk Road. It's over by Boomers, north of Pellendale and south of Kernan, I believe. So I just drive there.
Yeah. And now last week's guest was the executive director of the Gun Owners of California, and I understand that he was quite well received.
Yeah, that's Sam Paredes. He's a really good man, and he's the Gun Owners of California is a real good conservative political action group, and they accomplish a lot of things. And he also teaches from a book called The Confrontational Politics, written by H.L. Richardson, probably one of the best and most successful, and give us really good advice, conservative senators, California senators. So Sam will be back on, I believe it's February the 11th. Saturday we'll have him for a full day seminar, and he'll be teaching and sharing the principles that they teach and all that the good they're doing. So.
Is he a typical guest that you have there twice a month?
Yes, the Tea Party is there to be a forum for people, and we want to hear about the principles that we believe in. The Tea Party has 3 core values: fiscal responsibility, limited constitutional government, and free markets. And the Tea Party is essentially good people who believe that the government should get back to those correct principles in order to be sustainable and have peace and prosperity. Obviously, if you're not responsible physically, you're going to be bankrupt, and things don't continue if you're bankrupt. So.
Well, we have plenty of time. I just checked the time here, and so we have time to discuss those 3 core values one by one. So tell me the first one and then explain that.
I don't know that there's any order. There are 3 fundamental values of our society and our nation, and one again is fiscal responsibility. Whether we're an individual or a family or a country, if we spend more than we have, we're headed for doom. And this country is really spending more than it has.
Do you think that we are going further into debt because of wasteful spending or necessary spending?
I think that's a question that, in my old conservative, that shouldn't be answered. The answer is, if you don't have the money, don't spend it. It's a violation of principles that would sustain us as a country. So it doesn't matter how good or how needful something is. We've got basic principles that if you don't have it, don't spend it, and creating money is not an answer. So there's a whole lot of debate and a whole lot of things, and these are 3 core values that citizens and politicians can learn a lot from. So second principle is limited constitutional government. Our Constitution enumerates and spells out the roles that government should have. And by enumeration, that means it's limited. So it can't do anything more than what the Constitution says. And so that's the second principle. Yes.
It's not like to infinity and beyond.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I guess if we had a minute, I'd like to point out the Declaration of Independence, or ask the question, where does government get its rights? Where does government get its power? Now, government is power, and government's force, and government's a lot of things, but what is the proper role of government? What should government be? And we believe that government has no rights other than what people give to it. And in the Declaration of Independence, there's these great words that most of us know by heart, but I'd like to read these. It says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." So we have rights, and this document was written before the Declaration, before the Revolutionary War, before there was a country. So this is a beautiful statement that all men are equal and have equal rights, and they all have a right to their life, their liberty, and their pursuit of happiness. And the United States of America is unique in all the world. This actually is the only government founded on people's rights and founded on a limited government. And so that's what attracts people to this country from the whole world is those rights, that we have a right to our life. And the government should be protecting it. And liberty is the right to not be under bondage, and our government should be protecting that rather than putting us in debt. So these principles are the foundation of government and society.
I was chuckling because if anybody thinks for a minute that we're not in bondage, take a look at your utility bill.
That's right.
Or your
That's
credit
right.
card bill or something, because financial bondage is bondage as well.
That's right. And so that's why it's so important for everyone to learn the correct principles of government. And there's a statement in the Pocket Constitution from James Madison that says, "A well-instructed people alone can be permanently a free people." So if we want to be free, we've got to learn the principles that freedom is based on, and where those rights come from.
Well, this is something that I discuss quite frequently with people, not necessarily on the air, but in other forums, and that is we need to be educated. We can't just be uneducated sheeple.
That's right. That's right.
We need to educate ourselves, and one of the goals of this particular show is to educate the public so that they can make better decisions based on information, not just my opinion or somebody else's opinion, but based on information that they're learning and knowledge, and through the information and knowledge, hopefully wisdom grows as well.
That's right. We got a lot we need to learn and understand, but the most important thing we need to learn is fundamental principles. And as this beautiful statement says, it says all men are created equal. That means that men were created, our rights came from somewhere. And our rights came from God, and therefore government does not have the authority to take them away. Now, and I commend all the good people out there with their belief in God and strong families, because that's the principles, that's the strength of a nation. And
So does the Tea Party Patriots of Modesto, are they primarily Christian?
well, I think not necessarily. There's no requirement for anybody to be anything other than participate and try to strengthen our country. But the fundamental truth is people who believe in God believe that we have rights, and people who don't believe in God have to agree that government can do with them whatever they want. And so we don't agree that government has the right to decide there's too much population and eliminate us, or decide that we've got too much money and take it from us, or decide that we don't have a right to pursue happiness and decide what we can. So government's rights are delegated from the citizens. And if the citizens don't have rights, then government can do anything they want. Government is power and force, and this world history is replete with atrocities, and the Syrian people and all kind of people had suffered tremendous atrocities by people who had power, and they had a government to do what they wanted. And correct government is recognizing that everyone has rights, whether they're citizens of this country or not. Everybody has a right to their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Do you feel that the American people have given in too much to the government, so much so that they have allowed the government to actually take away their rights?
Well, it's almost worse than that, yes. We've been taught that we're a democracy, and that's totally not true. And the founders of the Constitution knew that democracy was the worst kind of government there is because it's short-lived. So as soon as the people figure out they can vote benefits for themselves, they're going to consume their country and their government. So yes, we the citizens, it's our obligation to keep the government in its proper roles. And so if we use the government to give us something that we don't deserve at somebody else's expense, and everybody keeps voting for what they want, pretty soon we've destroyed it, because socialism only works till you run out of somebody else's money. And so returning to correct principles of God, family, and rights, and delegated roles to the government is the way we're going to sustain any society that wants to be free and prosperous. And so those are the correct principles that our country is founded on.
Well, not getting too much into what either the Tea Party Patriots of Modesto or you personally think that God plays into government. I don't want to get off on that subject too much, but I do kind of want to touch on that. What is the Tea Party Patriots of Modesto's view of rights and pursuit of happiness? I mean, you know what your pursuit of happiness is, but it may not be the same as mine or someone else. Do they feel that those rights and pursuit of happiness is equal for everyone?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. The Tea
Okay.
Party is where we're a collection of individuals, and so this wonderful thing here from the Declaration of Independence, it's self-evident that all men are created equal. So if I say that I've got a right to do something, I have to acknowledge that every other human being has the same right that I claim for myself, and that's the beauty of it. Everybody has rights, but my rights end where the other person begins. And so I don't have a right to disadvantage or hurt somebody else. And he doesn't have a right to disadvantage or hurt me, but he has a right to benefit himself in every meaningful, gainful way to accumulate property and to have the fruit of his labors. And so correct understanding of rights makes it good for everybody. And when they get out of whack, where somebody starts making too many rules, and we've been taught that there's a new rule today coming out of Sacramento or Washington, that's not good.
Tell me about free markets, because that's one of your core values as well at the Tea Party Patriots of Modesto.
Free markets is simply private property as far as I'm concerned, and free markets is the opportunity to exercise our energies and to earn and grow and build and have the benefit of that. And the common law, or what's referred to as the laws of nature, before we even had the Magna Carta or the Constitution, is basically that we need to respect each other and respect each other's property in order to have any kind of civilized society. And we need to do what we say in order to have any kind of contract or exchange. And so free market is based on those principles right there, that if we respect each other and we do what we say, then everybody benefits in a free economic exchange.
Do you want to talk about Agenda 21? Do you want to discuss that, or shall we call Jan and have her come down?
I wish Agenda 20 wasn't there, but that's an agenda from the United Nations, basically to remake the whole world in the way that those in charge want to remake it, and that violates every principle that we have. I believe Agenda 21 indicates a goal of reducing the world's population to 1 billion or something, and that violates our right to life. So I believe, like many Tea Party people, that in order to save the world, we need to get back to the correct principles. Government, and I'm embarrassed, I intended to bring it with me, but there's a quote from George Washington, and he indicated that, I apologize, President Washington, government is force. It's not elegance, it's force, it's power. And he told us that government is like fire. It's a powerful servant, but a fearful master. And so government consumes us if we don't keep it in the correct bounds. And so that's what the Tea Party is trying to do. It's good people throughout the country and throughout the world trying to bring us back to the correct principles.
Give us those 3 core principles again.
Fiscal responsibility, limited government based on our constitutional roles, and free markets, basically private property and free enterprise.
And the Tea Party Patriots of Modesto can be found where?
No. Jan Etheridge.
I know, you brought all your information here.
I own 3
yeah,
computers.
call Jan Etheridge.
I got 3 computers and don't have any granddaughters here to run any of them. But there's a website, tpptrackers.com, and there's also a website, tppmod, which is Tea Party Patriots Modesto.com. There's a Facebook page, Modesto Tea Party Patriots. As you can tell, there's a lot of hardworking younger people than me that do all of that. And good old Jan Etheridge, you can call her at 545-4519, and this is our Modesto Tea Party Patriots. There's a lot of other groups and organizations and areas that have Tea Party groups as well, and a lot more are being organized. So if anybody wants help starting a group, we'd be glad to help them.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for
Reid
having us.
Johnson for Tea Party Patriots of Modesto.